not the person you're expecting to see. My name is Daniel Kranting. Welcome to Scorecard on Citi TV. Your regular host, Fento Tahiru Fento, he's run away because of the events of the past 24 hours. As the show goes on, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But of course, what a weekend of sport it has been. Started off on Friday with some Ghana Premier League action. Hearts of Oak yet again failing to win. This time they picked up their first defeat of the season. In the Premier League, Liverpool humbled Arsenal. Arsenal were on this unbeaten run. Liverpool brought them back down on earth. And Watford also disciplined Manchester United, costing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer his job. He's been sacked as Manchester United manager. In the Serie A, there were some thrilling games. Napoli and Inter Milan played out a 5-goal thriller. There was Fiorentina against AC Milan, a 7-goal thriller. We have all the highlights for you. And of course, we have some boxing action where our very own Isaac Dogbe was in action earlier this weekend, or earlier today at dawn. He won his fight there against Diaz. Of course, we have all the action for you just after this break. This is Scorecard on Citi TV. Don't go away. When we come back, I introduce the guests and then we start the show. Welcome back. This is Scorecard on Citi TV. My name is Daniel Kranting. Of course, this show is yours. You can also join the conversation on the WhatsApp line 0550-585-832, 0550-585-832. Of course, if you are joining us from outside Ghana, just use the +233 code there. Of course, on Twitter, also the hashtag is Scorecard. I'll do well to read all the messages for you. But of course, it's time to dive straight into the show. I introduce the two guests for today, Christopher Nimley and my very good friend, Yao Frimpong. Christopher, how are you doing?
You was about. Mena hogba. Nima hogba na ama hogba. Wakogbele yachi. How you wa min dabushi. Ashwe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Solskjaer yakwaje watch you ise. Yakwaje no wodin ya ojelemi. Solskjaer. Oh man you ami. Mene Inkunsem fe man you supporter. I'm no longer a Chelsea supporter because Solskjaer has been sacked. How you are? Wakogbele yachi. O manche yele aba. Yesu bam. Krati. I'm good, man.
Oh, Charlie.
What? Charlie. I'm good, man.
Oh, Charlie. Oh, goodness. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been sacked as Manchester United manager. And of course, if you are a regular viewer of the show, you understand that Coach Christopher Nimley left Manchester United on condition that he will come back when Ole is sacked. And of course, in the prayer, he was just saying how glad he is to be back to his team. Yeah, how are you doing? You also beaming with smiles there.
Well, I've been happy since 5 a.m., so you can imagine. I didn't sleep last night for obvious reasons. I needed to see it. Confirmation came around 9-10 a.m. I'm okay now.
Oh, goodness me. But let's start off on the Ghana Premier League, where Accra Hearts of Oak, this is week 4, they failed to pick up points again. They had played 3 games with 3 draws. This time they traveled to Obuasi to take on Ash Gold, and this time they were beaten by 2-0. Kumasi Asante Kotoko, 4 wins out of 4, and that boy again, Isaac Opon. Coach, there's no stopping him at the moment.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a good striker. He's a player who's got some decent eye for goal. I mean, at his age, he can only get better. For me, I'm impressed with what he gives Kotoko. It's like he gives them something completely different. He's there to score goals. So if you watch him, he's always positioning himself in a manner that will make sure he's always at the end of the move. Just look at the goal. Just before the pass came in, you can clearly see him adjusting his body shape in order to allow the ball to be rolled in front of him. And the audacity with which he struck the ball with his unfavorable foot. These are the sort of things you want to look out for in selecting a player, or in choosing or in giving the player the nod ahead of another player. And for me, whatever Prof is doing with Kotoko needs to be recommended. I think that he's gotten them to believe. He's built his own team. He's brought players that he believes will understand his way of doing things. And he's allowed them to do the simple things. Break, pass, and move. Break, pass, and move. There's lots of off-the-ball movement in this Kotoko setup. And I think that is what every good coach should insist on whenever you find yourself coaching a team. Like I've always said, it isn't the player who is in possession of the ball who is the most important. Those around him. The way you move makes the one in possession work very, very simple and direct. And for me, because they've got lots of off-the-ball movement, whoever picks the ball or whoever is in possession of the ball, is having lots of opportunities or various opportunities to pass the ball forward. And if your options are that many, it will be very, very unnatural of you at this level of our game not picking the right pass. And for me, credit must be given to the manager. Now let's talk about Hasselhoff.
What is going on?
There
What
are
is
issues.
the problem?
There are issues. The issues are very simple. This manager walked into the team last season and everybody believed in him. They gave him absolute control of the team. He did things his way. Hasselhoff dominated the local scene. Now the team won the league, had to go to Africa. They went to Africa. It is only those people who are not smart football managers that would think that this Hasselhoff team should have gone to the Champions League and then qualified to the next stage of the competition. We sat here so many times. I was of the view, and I'm happy I was proven right, that there's no way Hasselhoff were going to go past Wydad of Morocco. No way. Because we had not gotten our football right in the manner that instead of Hasselhoff using the league to prepare for the Champions League, they were rather using the Champions League to prepare for the league. Completely unacceptable. But having said that, the team has been eliminated from the Champions League, brought back to the Comfort Cup. Now everybody around the team seems to be doubting Samuel Buedu. I don't know why people in and around the team are doing what they are doing. To the extent that the next moment here, they are thinking about bringing in the technical director. Absolute rubbish. Technical director to come and do what? To come and now show Samuel Buedu how Hasselhoff as a club should be playing their football or what? And look, it has gotten to the players. And the players themselves, who are so much in love with this manager, are now being told to do things in a very different way. Whoever those people are, they should stop that. But having said that, 3 points out of a possible 12, defending league champions, that is unacceptable. And if you look at the manner in which they've gone about their business, it's absolutely appalling. Apart from the first game against Legon City, which I thought the team played very well and should have won that game. But of course, Legon City that day had a very super goalkeeper who came to the party, for re-entry. He did marvelously well. He won the man of the match. But and then if you look at the game they lost against Ashko today, for once, maybe I'll look at some Buedu and say, look, what is happening? Look at the first goal. The defending was so flat. If you go that high up the pitch, you should be doing this. But the moment you do this, one simple ball, everybody is out of the game. And for me, when I saw that, at the time, it was 0-0. The second half had just started. I think about 5-6 minutes into the second half, as to why the coach allowed the team to move very high up the pitch like that. It was shocking. At that moment, Hasselhoff was not chasing any game. It was still 0. In fact, they came back as they started the second half better. And what is the best way to continue that? Is to keep your shape. At least your defensive shape should be spot on. And what made it even more worse was the fact that they had Emmanuel Neti and Frederick and Sambuche as the two players in front of the back four. If you look at the first goal, as to how Neti, Bucci, the entire back line, all of them were just that flat. That should be directed at the manager and his technical staff. I don't want to believe they didn't see that happen. And again, how would you look at the second goal? The way the guy just had a free run, and then had to look. they better sit up. For Samabwedu, look, if things are being made difficult for him, I know him. I sat in the same class with him. I know his temperament. If there are people in this team doing that to him, knowing Samabwedu, they better be careful, because he could just say, I've had enough of this and I'm out of here. They have to continue to believe in him. I know they are beginning to panic, because on the other side of the country, their direct rival are doing superbly well. They've won 4 out of 4, maximum point out of what? 12 points. So if that is why they are worried, yes, you can be worried, but you need to believe in the process. This is a project that is ongoing, a project that has won you things. Why are you tampering with it? Only God knows. Folk will have to sit at, when are they playing in Africa? Is it this week or next week? This week. Yeah. If they don't take care, if whatever is going on continue, they get booted out of the Comfort Cup, and it will be from frying pan to fire. I don't want to believe, my last point, I don't want to believe the exit of that mine player. Efutu, the one you remember the documentary we did on the league. I picked him as my best player of the league, because I don't want to believe that Samabwedu and the technical team did not recognize the importance of that player, such that once it was that clear that the player was going to leave, the recruitment policy, whether they didn't bring somebody, once you didn't bring somebody similar, then the playing style will have to change to adapt to whoever is coming to fill in the void. I haven't seen that so far, and I think that is a bigger worry. And that is one of the reasons why this team is struggling, because Efutu would have given them not only assurance in the middle of the park, but he's a proper goal scoring threat from set pieces. Since he left, apart from the free kick that Kofi Koji scored against the Guinean opposition, they've never scored from any open play. There's nobody attacking the crosses in the box like he used to do. And I think that is a massive loss, and they need to go out there and fix it.
Yeah, coach has spoken very well about the struggles of Hearts of Oak, but when they look on the other side at Kotoko, 12 points out of a possible 12, already 9 points ahead of them, is it too early to say the title race is over?
Nah, it's too early. It's too early. Kotoko, mind you, have to play Hearts of Oak twice. They have to play other clubs like Wafa, King Faisal, Ash Gold. There are many opportunities for them to drop points. My only concern is that Kotoko had a good preseason. They didn't play well in the preseason games, but they got an opportunity for the boys to bond. I look at bonding and off-field activities as very important for the club, and they've got something special going on. It's like a unit. Last week I was in Kumasi as Kotoko played my team in a friendly, and you could see, look, they make it very uncomfortable for you to play them, because they press so high up. Even our striker had to drop as far deep as the midfield to just receive the ball, because Ganio wouldn't give him any space. That made me see that, look, they know the way they want to play, and they are very in it. They are trying different things on the training ground. You can tell that Kotoko know they need to start fast, and they've done that. They have a fixture at Hearts of Oak coming up. All of this is in preparation towards that. Yeah. They need to make a statement. If they can keep it going and they face Hearts of Oak and beat them, then they can say, yeah, we're in a good lead, and then start building on it, hoping for the return leg to be just a academic game. Yeah. But then again, Hearts of Oak, the performances have to improve. The league title race is not just two of them. I think Olympics, King Faisal, by extension, Ash Gold, they all have a chance. I just think Hearts of Oak need to keep the focus. What they did last season when someone came in was excellent. The style of play, the approach to the games, that's what you want to see. This season they've been flat throughout. There's no intensity, and it seems the over-reliance on Salifu, it makes it very difficult for them to play.
And very predictable too.
And even then, when he has the ball, his option is just one. he always wants to look for a cue pass to Kofi Koji or try to go out wide, and is always cut out. In terms of defensive structure as well, I feel like Coach was saying, it was flat. And Fatal really pushes up so much that it leaves the Hearts of Oak backline with probably three players trying to defend. And if there's a counter opportunity, as they are flat, they are cut out. And it's and maybe goalkeeping department, the nature of the goals, I'm a bit worried because first goal, you gave him an easy opportunity by just going the other direction. He passes it by your left side. Second one, he parries the ball into the path
danger,
of his opponent. I would be surprised if he missed it. So these are some of the things that need to change. And Richard Baidu had a great season last season at Karela. Why not give him a chance? If you don't trust Richmond Ayi, I think Richard Baidu has shown that he can play in the Ghana Premier League. And if you look at Karela's good run last season, he was
down to him. Yeah.
Thank you. So it will make sense for them to try that. Because even when he wasn't in post, when Richard Atta was with national team and Richard Baidu was in post, you could tell he had some command of the area, and he wasn't making certain poor decisions as well. So really, the title race is far from over. I just think all the teams involved need to keep the focus if they want to stay in the race.
Title race is far from over, but of course, Accra Hearts of Oak need to keep their focus. They need to get back to winning ways if they want to keep the pressure on Kumasi Asante Kotoko. But we are done with the Ghana Premier League. Let's now move on to the English Premier League. On Saturday, lunchtime kickoff, it was Chelsea taking on Leicester City at the King Power. And of course, the league leaders, the European champions, were back to their best. A 3-0 comfortable win at the King Power for Chelsea. So Rudiger, N'Golo Kante and Christian Pulisic on target as Chelsea beat Leicester City by 3-0. But we have to take a quick break here on Scorecard on Citi TV. Of course, when we come back, we'll dissect that game. And of course, we have more highlights for you, including that 4-1 win for Watford over Manchester United, a game that cost Ole Gunnar Solskjaer his job. Keep your messages coming in. I see them coming through. When we come back from the break, I'll read as many as I can. Of course, this is Scorecard on Citi TV. Don't go away. You're watching Scorecard on Citi TV. My name is Daniel Cranting. Of course, I'm sitting in for your regular host, Fentu Tahiru. Fentu, just gone by, we showed you highlights of Chelsea's win at Leicester City. Let me read some of your messages before we dissect the game with the guys. This one is coming from Nijan inside Kaslang. He says, good evening, Danike. It's only yesterday I came to the realization that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is tactically inept and clueless. I'm very excited that he was finally sacked. I'm enjoying the evening and I'm chilling with a good day energy drink. This one from Mutala inside Yendi. He says, Coach Chris shouldn't be happy for Ole's sacking. There's no permanent manager at post yet, and who knows what will happen next at the club. That is very true. This one comes with no name. He says, today of all days, Danny should have been a panelist after Ole's sacking. It's unfortunate that he's hosting. Kind of true. He said, we still need to hear your take on Ole's. I'll definitely give you that. I have to, because there's a lot on my mind. Philip Azaka from Sandema, he says, I'm happy for the decision by Man United to sack Ole just for two reasons. One, to have Christopher Limley back as a supporter of Man United. And then two, knowing that Van de Beek will get playing time under the next manager. This one is from Maltima inside Tamale. He says, where is Fentu? I wanted to hear your submission on United and Ole for Coach Chris. He makes the show fun. Abuka inside Tamales, he says, oh, Coach, Ole lost his job and you are rejoicing.
The man was sitting on my happiness. He said, me, I don't deserve to be happy.
Oh, goodness. This one coming from Idris. He said, Kotoko all the way. And he says, Chelsea to win the Premier League. Michael Pinsel, a very good friend, Michael Pinsel from North K, he says, it was just a matter of tactics. We didn't have the manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was not Manchester United's level. But watch this. Last season, Chelsea sacked their legend and won the Champions League. This season, Manchester United have sacked their legend. And he says, are you thinking what I'm thinking? The way I'll be happy. They don't know. This one is coming from, okay, no name again. He says, please, DK and Coach, vindicate me on the fact that my critics, into brackets Chelsea fan, keep telling me that Cristiano Ronaldo came and ruined what Ole built in Man United last season. Are they correct? Because I don't see Ronaldo as the problem. Ronaldo can never be the problem.
He's never been the problem.
Ronaldo is the solution to everything. He is not the problem. And he has brought us redemption. Aren't we happy? Abega Hero from Abeka. He says, Ole is gone and my team Manchester United and Hearts of Oak will come back and win the title. Amen. Richard Ose Owusu from Twasu Senior High School in Kumasi. He says, United is my blood. I could not understand how a big team like United could allow Ole to let small teams punish them in the manner that happened yesterday. At first, if any small team came to Old Trafford, they could only come to test their strength and not even think of a win. Joe Fraser from Koforidua, he says Ole is gone, but McFred and Wan-Bissaka are still there, and you think the problem is solved. Carrick, another legend, he also shine. He says, tell Coach Chris to go back to his team now. He's back, as you saw from his prayer. Reverend Avle, Leonard Avle from Togo, he says, I greet you all. I'm back. My best friend Christopher, how is Man United and Ole? What's happening to Hearts of Oak? But where is the hope? I'm sure you know. Coach is very, very excited. He's very excited. He's finally got his wish there. This one is coming from Akatapuli inside Suhum. He says, I'm the happiest man on earth. I stopped watching my United matches the day Aston Villa beat us. You could see no chemistry and no tactics option, variation and system in Ole's game. He says, I monitored Christopher. Namely, I was amazed the last time he spoke about Ole. He says, we are in trouble if we think Maguire and Fred, if Maguire and Fred are still in the team. He says they should follow Ole out of the club. Keep your messages coming through the WhatsApp line 054 050585832, 050585832, and of course on the hashtag scorecard on Twitter. I'll read all the messages for you. But Coach, let's talk about that Chelsea game. Chelsea, European champions, went away at Leicester City. A game that on paper was supposed to be a strong test for them. By the end of the day, they were very comfortable.
No, that was no contest. We did the game on radio and look, the manner in which they just went through Leicester from the word go. I had said a day before on Sports Panorama that Leicester can only give themselves a chance or whatsoever if they mimic the shape of Chelsea. Brendan Rodgers did exactly that. But again, I did say also that it is something he's been forced to do because of how good Chelsea themselves have proven to be so far in the season. So it will come down to the quality of players. Yeah. So if, yes, you could match the shape or you could match the system, but the players make the shape, the players make the system.
Yeah.
So if you don't have equal quality, then of course you can just hope that it will be one of those bad days for your opponent. Then you go and stroll and get your. But yesterday, it wasn't to be. Look at N'Golo Kante. Goodness me. He reminded everybody how good a player he's been over the years. The manner in which he dominated Ndidi and Sumari.
Yeah.
Those two guys.
That is very difficult.
That is very difficult to do.
And I was like, closing midfielder.
He completely took them. There was a moment where he had Ndidi all over the place, chewing the grass and falling down. I said, what? This is N'Golo Kante of old. But having said that, look at the system. Every player in this Chelsea team understands his role. And there were times where Jorginho didn't have to look
he knows
before passing the ball. And I pointed that out to Nathan. I saw it once. I said, what am I seeing? I've seen it before. But he repeated it 3 other times. And then, to my amazement, I saw the young boy, Chalobah, do same. He didn't even look. He just played the ball, and there was somebody in the yellow shirt going to pick up the ball, and then Chelsea were simply on the move. It has to do with the manager. And you could see that anytime they got it wrong, Toto Alote didn't understand why they should get it wrong.
Yeah.
Because it clearly tells you that at the training ground, it's been done over again and again and again. So you have to be on the same page as everybody. Brendan Rodgers, he just didn't understand how to go about it. There were times where, if you look at the way Chelsea were playing, they actually would. They knew Leicester would press the ball high up the pitch. And they didn't panic at all. Draw them to yourself and let's go through them. And Kai Havertz, surprisingly, he dominated Johnny Evans throughout. Yeah. Because there were times where the only outlet was to go to Kai Havertz, and Evans was right behind. He could control the ball, hold him off, and then Hudson-Odoi on the move. The moment they went to Kai Havertz, Hudson-Odoi or Mason Mount knew that once Havertz could get the ball first, they then needed to give him the option of passing. And once he received it, off they went. Look, and it was so sweet to watch, delicious to watch, and there were an end product to it, and I think that is what matters. If you dominate your opponent like the way they did, put an end product to your work, and look at the goals, super goals. And this team, this is happening even in the absence of Romelu Lukaku. Yeah. That is what is so scary, because I think once he comes back and they are in this mood and he joins the party, they are looking like the team most likely to dethrone Manchester City as champions.
That's Chelsea, European champions, showing just how good they are in that comfortable 3-0 win against Leicester City. Of course, Rudiger grabbed that first goal before N'Golo Kante's brilliant solo run ended up in him lashing the ball into the back of the net with his left foot. And then late in the second half, Christian Pulisic, who came off the bench, grabbed the third goal for Chelsea there. But let's move on to Vicarage Road. That game was 3 p.m. on Saturday. It was Watford taking on Manchester United. Man United had lost their last game before the international break at home against Man City. They had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. Everybody thought it was going to be a comeback game. They win, it gives Ole more time, and then United get a chance to build on to that Champions League game against Villarreal. But what happened on Saturday afternoon was something that no Manchester United fan expected. But of course, the result at the end of the day was absolutely astonishing. Watford, a struggling Watford team, demolished Man United by 4-1 at Vicarage Road. Watford 4-1, beating Manchester United at Vicarage Road. A shocking result, a humiliating result for Manchester United. Let's focus on the game itself. That first half, honestly speaking, is one of the worst 45 minutes I've ever seen Manchester United play. All over the place. David De Gea said it, that he didn't understand how a team could be that poor over and over and over. And when he thinks they are going to come back, it's another poor performance after another poor performance. He went on to say the players don't know what to do when they have the ball. They don't know how to defend. It just shows you the state of the club as it stands.
For a 2-week break, you'd expect that the club will come out all guns blazing. And even the structure of the team would give you some confidence. But you find that yesterday, Ole set up the team with McTominay and Matic in the middle. Automatically, he's playing a hoping to counter kind of game where he gets a transition, gives it to Bruno or Jadon Sancho, and they're on the way. But United never got going, and you could tell Watford prepared adequately for them. The pressure, the intensity, and their approach to the game, it was quite clear they would win the game, or even the first half, because Bruno, out of nowhere, you blast the ball back into your box, and McTominay is not the most sensible of defenders. He fouls the man. It might be soft, but it's a penalty. De Gea does his bit to save us by saving the penalty 2 times. You would think that would let them sit up. So soon after, Wan-Bissaka gives the ball away in his box, and the next minute they're conceding. And when United go down, it's either they come back roaring or they just lie down and take it. And it looked like one of those days where they were going to take as many as you give them. They would concede over and over again because there was no defensive shape. There was no leader at the back. And the back four, it seems they don't even exist because teams just go right through them. You look at the nature of the 2 first half goals. Every ball that went in there could have been stopped, either by the fullback or the centre back, or even someone in the middle. But you find that they are all grouped in the middle of the box, hoping that the ball will come to them and the opponent will be left free, and they just tap it in. And I would commend Emmanuel Dennis, the Watford striker.
Nigerian forward.
He was the best player because he took the game to the United defenders. he was a threat throughout, constantly. And I was happy when he got that goal at the end, just because
he deserved it.
His efforts needed to be rewarded. He went at the defense over and over again, and Tom Cleverley didn't even do much, and that should tell you how bad the midfield was. Non-existent. United's probably the best bit of United's game was Van de Beek coming on. You could see he has some football intelligence, moving the ball quickly in tight spaces. He knows what to do. And Sancho, that was probably one of his best performances, because he got the balls into the box over and over again. Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford. You would even forget that Marcus Rashford was on the pitch, because he played the first 45, but he was dreadful. He had an opportunity to score, could have changed the tide, but hey, Ronaldo himself, I don't blame him too much, because look, he did his best. Even the one-on-one he missed, you could tell he slipped. But the effort that United put in yesterday, that's the kind of result they deserve. They are lucky it was just 4.
Look, you talk about effort, okay, and you talk about, a lot of people have spoken about how the players could have done more, But when you look at the level of disorganization on the pitch, how much more can a player do to effect that change? Because if you listen to David De Gea's post-match interview, coach, you could tell that it's not like the players didn't want to try. They just didn't know what to do anymore. And you look at somebody like De Gea in particular. When you cross over to Chelsea, everybody can remember the top-class performances from Mendy this season. You can remember that Brentford game. It comes. But Mendy doesn't have to pull off those performances week in, week out, because the system is working. And more often than not, he doesn't face that sort of pressure. But De Gea has done it against Liverpool. He took 5. He was brilliant against Man City. He took 2. He was absolutely fantastic against Watford. He took 4. At a point, it has to be the manager. And I'm sure you are one of those who are happy that finally, the board saw what everybody had seen, that the manager just wasn't good enough and gave him the sack.
Look, even my wife, when I got home yesterday, granting, oh, Lord Jesus. When I got home, Mrs. Nimley felt my joy. You understand?
I understand.
And she got involved in my happiness.
I can see.
You understand? Isn't
I
it?
understand.
That's good.
No.
Yesterday, we did a match on radio. When I saw the team sheet, I said, wow, this guy is so stubborn. These were my exact words. The act of stubbornness has brought an end to something that should have ended long ago.
Yeah.
So I was happy. Those who listened to me as well, after I did all my analysis, I looked at the team, I looked at the Watford. I said Watford will win, and they'll win convincingly. Why did I say that? Because we've said it over and over again. No competition whatsoever. Maguire, Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, McTominay. If it's not Tomine, it's either McFred or Matic. No matter how bad Rashford. Look, it is because of Marcus Rashford alone. That is why I am hoping and praying that United bring a figure. The next manager should be a manager with an... You see, who is a figure? Mm-hmm. Like Antonio Conte. Did you see Harry Kane today? If you like, don't run. If you like, don't come back. Don't do the basic. Don't work hard for the team.
Yeah.
You get nowhere closer to the team.
Bench.
Look,
There
were 3 occasions where Bruno Fernandes picked up the ball. He gave it to Rashford. He ran from where he was after making the pass, trying to support Rashford. Rashford didn't give him the ball. Rashford lost the ball and started walking. And I was telling Nathan, look at Marcus Rashford. His work. Then in the middle of that, Solskjaer had positioned himself between Mark Carrick and McKenna, and he was there. I said, wow.
Oh no.
Don't do this to yourself. Just be smart enough. This team has got talent. That is why every United supporter believes that the next manager coming in will fix this. For me, the manager is so clueless. David De Gea said, when we have the ball, there were moments yesterday Ronaldo was coaching where the ball should be passed. Yeah. I could say, look at Hero. He drops deep, he picks up the ball, he gives it, pass it here, take it here, take it there, bring it back, give it to me, move. What? And the manager was, if it has to be micromanaged like Antonio Conte does, stand on your feet and do it. Yesterday, Solskjaer came, and as if he didn't understand that it was a make or break situation. As if fatigue had set in and he'd given up. That whatever I do, we will lose. So my days finish. That is what I saw.
Even his posture after the defeat. He goes to the fans
and then he does. The moment he did that, I said the man is waved goodbye. McTominay couldn't play for
Scotland.
Mm-hmm. We're told he was sick.
Yeah.
He couldn't even run. He returns back to United. He trains for 1 day.
And he
starts. This player cannot pass the ball forward. Look, yesterday, Van der Beek came on. And in just 5 minutes, you could see the difference in class between Van der Beek and Fred and McFred. My two buddies, McFred, McTominay and Fred. You could clearly see the forward-thinking nature of a proper academy boy, somebody who has originated from the best academy in the world. The Ajax is the best in the world. He's originated from that system. And you don't want to play such a player. Look at the Ronaldo. Ronaldo saw that this is somebody who will pass me the ball. So he just started making those runs. And look, there was a pass that was so superbly done. He looked it, he just did like that, and the ball was in front of Ronaldo. So now you look at Solskjaer. What do you see? You've trusted Maguire. He's let you down. You see Maguire and somebody like Zidane. But Cranting, I am happy that he's gone. But I'm not happy because it's been given to Carrick and McKenna and McPhillan. They should have sacked all of them. The board of United has shown that they were just not ready for this. You have to understand them. Man United, they've got their way of going about these things. They will not act like the Chelsea will do. They believe that, look, and especially when this time they were dealing with this is the first time I have seen the manager sacked. But now grant a post-sacking interview. Thanking them. It tells you the extent to which the club valued Solskjaer. We all valued him. But it got to the stage where his coaching intellect was far below the standard required to get him to move the team to the next level. So that is clear. No wonder Marcus Rashford has tweeted. Maguire has done so. We've not Fred. McTominay, they have tweeted. Look at them. You see the players among. They were the favorite. I've not seen the tweet from Martial. I've not seen the tweet from Ronaldo. I've not seen the tweet from Van der Beek. I've not seen the tweet from everybody. I've not seen the tweet. They will not tweet. What? Tweet about he should go. And he's gone. It's as simple as that. Now, I don't think United will win the league, no. But I think top 4 is within reach. They are talking about Carrick. Obviously, Man United will be playing on Tuesday against Villarreal. You need somebody to step in. So let him do a caretaker role. What I'm not happy about is an interim manager before the manager they want. Whoever you want. If he's not ready to come and take up the job now,
he's not ready.
In the summer, the job will be even more difficult. Do you know why? Pogba may leave. Cavani will leave. Everybody may leave.
Lingard is going.
Lingard is going. That is 4.
Cristiano could go.
There is a clause in that man's contract that failure to qualify for the Champions League, he's got a liberty to say, I'm leaving this place. So he could leave. Then if you look at the setup again, Alex Telles, he's not happy. He wants to leave. Diogo Dalot, he's not happy. He wants to leave. There are about 9 players. Matic will have to go because he's on the final year. You cannot renew his contract. How can you have a midfielder who cannot play 2 games in a week? What is he doing in the team? He has to go. So you have close to Mata is out. So you have Phil Jones is out. You have close to 10 players.
A full squad.
That is a full squad. And you don't expect a new manager. But this was, if that new manager comes in, if it is Zizou, I've got no doubt that in 2 days, Pogba renews his contract. If it is Zizou, Van der Beek will stay. If it is Zizou, even if this team will not qualify for the Champions League, Ronaldo will stay. There is Varane. Yes, the likes of Cavani and Kobe, because of their injury record, he will sweep the likes of Phil Jones, Mata, the dead horses, clear them. Go to France. Chumeni, come. Go here, you come. He built a proper empire. An empire that will put fear through the spines of Toto Alote and Toto Antonio Conte and co. So that when they are now coming to Old Trafford, yeah, we are coming to the Lions then. One that Solskjaer, we are very grateful to Solskjaer. He's done his part, but his part was just not good enough. Granted, today you are the host. Don't be laughing like that when I'm talking. What I'm saying is, Granted, listen, I'm very serious.
You are serious.
Yes, Solskjaer, he's done his part. I mean, he's done some good rebuilding here. He's brought in some good players, but he has to go. The next appointment, United will have to get right. If you ask me, if they have to appoint somebody now, it has to be Zidane. The moment they say they will not do the appointment now and they are waiting to the end of the season, then they have somebody they are looking at. I will advise the people at United, if the appointment is going to be at the end of the season, go get Van der Sar and the Ajax manager.
Yes.
Go get these two guys. Don't go for Pochettino, Mauricio Pochettino. Let him stay at PSG. But if the appointment is to be done at the end of the season, then surely it has to be Van der Sar and Ten Hag. Come and put proper footballing structures in place and sack Michael Carrick, Fletcher, sack all those people. They don't know nothing about football. Sack them. They are substandard. They should go and learn the trade elsewhere and come back to United after 28 years.
Oh, Coach Christopher,
yes.
I'll say something.
Yes.
I'll say something. You spoke in my mind there. Oh, goodness gracious. They should go and come after 28 years.
Yes, 28 years, minimum 28 years. They will come back. By then, at least, I'll be just sitting in the comfort of my home, watching them with joy. But now, Solskjaer, he nearly killed me. I'm telling you honestly. For me to have admitted that I'm a Chelsea fan, if you know what that thing did to me, that's why I had to pray and thank God for my soul. My soul had to be relieved. I was going through pain, my brother.
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Look, let's put Manchester United matter aside. Let's focus to the other big game on Saturday. It was Arsenal. Oh, goodness, coach. Arsenal were on an 8-game unbeaten run until they went to Anfield to meet the bosses themselves, Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp. It was 4-0 at the end of the day, an all too familiar result when anytime Arsenal goes to Anfield, Liverpool dominated them and won comfortably. Brought back to their level, Arsenal visited Anfield, and Liverpool says, cool down. You are not here yet. Yeah, Arsenal were on an 8-game unbeaten run, but of course this performance, this result was just not what they expected. I expected much better. I thought Liverpool would win, but I thought it would be much closer than what it was.
Yeah, I think Liverpool are getting back to the level we saw them in their title winning season. They are just good all over the pitch. There was no Andy Robertson. Tsimikas did a very good job. In the middle, there was no Henderson. Thiago and Oxlade came in, did a very good job. Forward line, Jota came in for Firmino. You can tell the system works. When you have a good manager, regardless of who is available, he's able to make the system work. Whoever he'll call up to replace someone understands their role. And the thing about going to Liverpool is that you don't go there to try and match them boots for boots. You try to just coerce them to come into your side, then you try and hit them on the break. But Arsenal tried to play a higher line, and even in their defensive transition, you find that the players don't get back quick enough. Partey was isolated for most of the time. He will drop But then whoever would come and join him, you'll find that the person is not coming in to actually create a block, but rather by the time he gets there, the ball has already moved. And Liverpool did very well in terms of overloading one side, then switching the ball. That was something they did very well. You find that Trent can pass any range, any direction.
Brilliant technique, excellent vision.
So he just needs to get on the ball, and he'll find his left fullback. He'll find his left winger. And Mane loves playing against Arsenal. He loves it. And I thought Arsenal would actually try and mark him out of the game because he would be my danger man.
He's done so many times.
Every time he does something against them. So I thought they would actually try and hold him and prevent him from playing. But the Arsenal backline, centre-backs, they're great. But then the full-backs let them down. Tavares gave the ball away. Right back was missing for most of the game. He's settled really well in the Premier League, but this game he no seat up because Mane really showed him that look, it's not about being a tough tackling defender. You have to be able to read the run, and Liverpool did it over and over again with the runs. In the middle, Liverpool were fine. Alcantara didn't really have much to do, but Fabinho being there allowed him the freedom to just do whatever he wants.
The tempo.
And Fabinho also reads the possible dangers and cuts the passes out. I think Arsenal, they'll be happy it was just 4. Ramsdale did a really good job. He's the reason they went on the 8-game unbeaten run, and he's the reason they conceded only 4.
Only 4 there. Liverpool beating Arsenal by 4-0. We'll take another quick break. You're watching Scorecard on Citi TV. Of course, my name is Daniel Kranting. I'm doing this with Yao Frimpong and Coach Christopher Nimley. When we come back from the break, I'll read more of the messages that have come through. I've seen them. I'll read them. Then we go to Italy, Spain, and then Germany. We'll give you some boxing and some Formula 1 at the end. Scorecard on Citi TV. Don't go away. You're watching Scorecard on Citi TV. My name is Daniel Kranting. Let me read some of the messages that have come through the WhatsApp line. This one is from Democracy inside Kintampo. It says sacking Ole is the best option so that our temperature comes or cools down a little. This one comes with no name. I beg, when you're sending a message, send your name, okay? This one says, Danny, tell coach to remain at Chelsea. We don't need him back at United. We are united. We fall together and we rise together. I just love how he's analysing the Chelsea game.
You've been sleeping. You tell me you don't need who.
This one is coming in from Yaya. Yaya, he says, I'm happy. Ole is gone, and I'm also very happy for my very good friend, Coach Christopher Nimley. Lemo Yaya from Dawonia, he says, good evening. I am sad about Ole sacking. Man United should have waited and played Chelsea before sacking Ole. We, the Blues, also want a piece of the Amansan cake. New plan in Tumu Sankofa base. He says, please, Coach Christopher Nimley, I want to know whether Man United sacked Ole or he left by mutual understanding.
He was sacked.
When they say those things, he's sacked. It's just a nice way of putting it that he was sacked. But yes, Ole was sacked. Blackus from Abukobi, he says Chelsea all the way. This one also comes with no name. He says, I'm happy Man United sacked their manager. Mendy is the best goalkeeper in Europe. No name. See, now if you don't say your name, I'll read your message. Nana Ampong inside East Legon. He says, Scorecard makes my Sundays complete. He says, I love your analysis. As for Coach Christopher Nimley, he's fun to watch. Keep it up, guys. I trust Fento is doing well. Fento is doing, he's not too good. He's not too good. After Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was sacked, he started thinking seriously about next weekend's game between Man United and Chelsea. William from Sakomono, he says, this weekend is for Felix Afena-Jan. Yes, the young Ghanaian came off the bench. He scored 2 goals for his AS Roma. They lead Genoa by 2-0. Came off the bench, grabbed a brace. So fantastic stuff there from Felix Afena-Jan. 18 years of age.
Years.
Yes, AS Roma star there. On that note, we go to Italy. We'll play 3 games back to back. First of all, we'll play Milan's loss at Fiorentina. It was a 7-goal thriller. Fiorentina winning that game by 4-3. Alfred Duncan grabbed a goal and then an assist. Also, there was a big clash. It was the champions against the league leaders. Inter Milan against Napoli. That was a 5-goal thriller. Inter Milan edging that one by 3-2. And so we'll give you those 2 games back to back. So some thrilling encounters there in the Serie A. Inter Milan beating Napoli by 3-2. And my favorite game of the weekend, that 4-3, the one we just watched, 4-3 win for Fiorentina against AC Milan. Coach Alfred Duncan was at it again.
Of course, he
display.
was super. Unless you didn't watch the game, but anybody who watched the game will clearly admit that, come on, the Ghanaian yesterday showed why he should be an obvious pick into the Black Stars. He's again reminded everybody in charge of our national team that these are the quality of players who should be in our team. People should stop calling players because they belong to Camp A or Camp B. It's a national interest that we should all seek. Look at the goal he scored. That wasn't what I was looking at. The assist for the third goal. If you followed it critically, you realize, come on, this is a forward-thinking player. He's always been like that. You call a player, he comes, he's played out of position tactically for the sake of the team. You don't see him like the way you see him in Italy, then you say he's not good enough. Now the manager comes back and say, he's my man of the match. That was the last time Alfred Duncan played for Ghana against South Africa in the AFCON qualifiers against in Cape Coast.
Yep.
We all thought that by asking him to play out wide, left, Akwesi Appiah was asking him to do too much. But Akwesi came back and said he put him there for a reason. And to him, he got the job done because that day he was solely responsible to cut off Pesitao from running out Gideon Mensah. What did Akwesi? The moment the South Africans substituted Pesitao, he also substituted Duncan, brought in Mohamed Kudus, and Kudus scored the second goal. So we should have a way of dealing with our players. Having said that, it was a very, very interesting game. But my game from the Italian Serie A was the Inter Milan Napoli. If you are defending champions and somebody takes the lead on you and you meet them this early, you need to remind them that title will not be handed over to them on the silver platter. And that was exactly what Inter did. I watched the game. It was so fiercely contested. And Inter went down. I thought when they went down, they were going to lose it. One player that Napoli actually missed was the Nigeria international. I think if he had played in the game, Napoli would have won, because there were times where they needed somebody as big as the guy is. What is his name? Is it Osimhen. As big as he is, to hold on to the ball and face the Inter Milan guys at the back. They couldn't get that. But Lautaro Martinez,
top class striker.
He's a super striker. I don't know how long. Inter themselves, they are a big team. Well, but of late, one or two cash problems. If somebody's really looking at that ball, they should go and pick him up, because he's a proper footballer.
Elements of Aguero right there.
You know?
Yeah. And I think anyone that wants a proper number 9 who will just get you goals. Doesn't matter
somebody,
how.
A supporting, somebody who plays behind the main man.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I think anyone should look at it, say, and look at what he does there, and he'll do a job for you.
Let's go to the Bundesliga now. Bayern Munich, straight after the international break, Friday night, they went to Augsburg. A struggling Augsburg team. Everybody expected it to be a routine and comfortable win for Bayern Munich, but Augsburg said no. They beat Bayern by 2-1, and then somebody needed to capitalize on Bayern Munich losing. Usually that doesn't happen, but Dortmund did it at home against Stuttgart. They also beat Stuttgart by 2-1 on Saturday. So Bayern Munich losing, Borussia Dortmund capitalizing. But yeah, even though they capitalized, we all know what is going to happen at the end of the season. Bayern are just too dominant.
I think they have those off days. Then they'll go on a run where by the time you realize you're 10 points behind them. So you shouldn't be too happy when Bayern drop points, because the next action would be to restate their dominance, and they'll probably do it in very fine fashion. Probably another 4-5-0 loading in the next couple of weeks for whoever they face.
I think it's very simple. Dortmund should be awarded all the points they need. Bayern should, when they meet Dortmund, they beat them good. It's as simple as that. It will come down to that. To come down to the meeting between the two of them. And that is where Bayern is going to win the league, because they will meet this Dortmund team and beat them good. 3-0, 4-0, and they beat them good. So when they lose, like you said, one of those off days, you don't overly rejoice or celebrate. They will just come back and they will win the league. They want to. They are judged based on what they do in Europe, not what they do
in the league
at home. No, not at all.
Let's go to Spain now. Barcelona were playing their first game under their new manager and club legend Xavi. It was a Barcelona derby between FC Barcelona and Espanyol Barcelona. Barcelona winning that game, or FC Barcelona winning that game by 1-0. Let's have the pictures on the screen if we have them. Memphis Depay scoring a penalty, I think early in the first half to give Xavi's side, or Xavi, his first win as Barcelona boss. Yeah, I'll just take us through this game. It was a must win of some sort for FC Barcelona. They needed to win. Their form was not the best leading into this game. Against a struggling Espanyol side. It wasn't the most impressive of performances, but they got the job done.
Yeah, I think what it is they've had to do away with what they were doing under Koeman. It's not too different from what Xavi would bring in, but Xavi would be loyal to the tiki-taka. As it has evolved, he would add elements that are necessary, and having someone like Memphis Depay in the squad is a testament to the fact that tiki-taka has evolved. Before, he wouldn't want a proper, let's say, striker in there. You'd want someone who drop deep, get involved. But now they realize that they need to play the football differently. Barcelona make the job difficult for themselves by playing someone like Piqué. Piqué is a spent force. I think as much as he's got influence in Barcelona, they need to do away with him. And the young boys coming through that they've tried to introduce, those are the people they should stick with. Dani Alves also returning is exciting. We didn't see him in this game, but I think he can play across.
How on earth
do you miss from there? Well, I think
it was the Xavi factor. It was just meant to happen. When you have a legend like that come back to the team, no matter how, look at the chances there. Of course, no, but this is a proper legend. This is a proper legend. At least in his first game at home, the Camp Nou has never been this filled since the season began. Come on, they had to win, and for me, that was what they did. He said after the game, everybody should be patient. The Barcelona of old will come back in due time.
Let's look at the defending champions, Atletico Madrid. They were in action at home against Osasuna. Once again, they struggled, but once again, they got the job done. A clean sheet and 1 goal for them late in the game. Felipe scoring the goal in the dying minutes of the game. They got through that one. You saw Griezmann missing earlier on. It was chance after chance after chance, but they just couldn't hit the target. Created very well. And this was one of the games where you have to commend the defending form and the game plan from Osasuna. They tried and tried and tried, but of course, sometimes when you are facing quality opposition, the quality just comes through and builds them out. Yeah, your Atletico Madrid, tons of talent, but they just seem to labor through every game.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is, because the manager has set them up well defensively, but they can't seem to convert their chances. And even when you have someone like Griezmann leading the line or João Felix, it seems they would get into the positions, but they just squander every opportunity. And they seem to be getting goals from just set pieces or not from open play as we expect. So I think a lot of work has to be done with how they create their chances.
Yeah.
Chance creation is great, but the conversion is very poor, and that's what they need to work on. Let's
now look at the La Liga results from the weekend. We saw Barcelona winning that game against Espanyol. We saw Atletico Madrid also winning. Real Betis were 3-0 winners over Elche earlier today. Real Madrid, they went to Granada, beat them by 4-1. Vinicius Jr. was on target again. Excellent display there. Getafe beating Cadiz by 4-0. Thrilling 2-2 draw between Sevilla and Alaves. Sevilla grabbing a last-minute equalizer there. Villarreal, who Manchester United faced during the week in the Champions League game, they went to Celta Vigo, grabbed the point there. But let's do some boxing now. Ghana's Isaac Dobe, he took another huge step towards getting yet another world title shot. He faced Diaz, and he won by unanimous decision. Excellent display there from Isaac Dobe, beating Diaz there by unanimous decision. We'll do another piece of boxing there. There was a big one on the same card, the main card for this particular bout. It was Terence Crawford against Sean Porter. That was a fantastic fight. Porter losing to Crawford there. We'll show you that knockout there, and then the guys will split the fight between themselves and just break it down for us. So let's look at Porter versus Crawford. First time Sean Porter being stopped there by a knockdown, and it was done by Terence Crawford. Coach, talk to me about Isaac Dobe, and then I'll talk to you.
Yeah, I think on the Dobe issue, I'm happy he's no longer being coached by his father. Yeah. You could clearly see the difference. The improvement. Yeah. He's been properly coached now. Yeah. And look, the division he finds himself is a very, very difficult division. For him to win back that title of the guy. The guy is in the champion. Yeah. since he, what is the name? I don't see how he's going to beat that guy. Because that guy, anytime he sees Dobe, no matter how well he's coached, he'll beat him. Maybe that's the WBO, eh? Yeah. Maybe he could go WBA, WBC. But with that Navarrete guy.
Yeah, quickly on Terence Crawford and Sean Porter.
It's all about technique and power. And you could tell, as he's being defensive, he always keeps his left hand. He's just waiting. You dive in and you just uppercut every time. He did it a couple of times. Knocked him down the first time. Second one, it was a massive combination. And if he got up from that one to fight, I think he will fall down.
Your father was afraid, so please bring my son so that you kill him. So that you don't kill him.
But that's our show for today. My name is Daniel Kranting, and this is Coach Christopher Nimley and Yao Frimpong. Thank you very much, guys. Scorecard on Citi TV. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your messages. Of course, next week, your regular host, Fento Tahiru Fento, will be back so I can have my chair back. Coach, do you have some parting words for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer before we go?
Wandaleshi. Literally means we thank him. You should go and look forward and go on in life.
But that's our show for today, of course. Again, thank you for your time. Thank you to the directors, camera, sound, everybody who helped in making this show. And until next week, enjoy your week, of course, and keep watching Citi TV.